Alright students, for today's class we have picked up the topic scientific management. We have already studied about the Henry Fayol's principles of management. Now we are moving on to scientific management. Now the very first thing is, what does scientific management is all about? Scientific management means applying the scientific techniques. Right now, applying the scientific techniques does not mean that you have to treat them with the chemicals, right, or reactions or laboratory testings. No. Scientific management means applying the actions after proper thinking. Fine. So scientific management basically means what exactly you want your worker to do. You as a manager should know this first of all, and then you have to make sure that your workers do it in the best and the cheapest way. Means there should be no wastage of resources. There should be no intuition method being adopted. There should be not the trial and error method being focused. So the main focus should be on making sure that whatever work is being done after proper thinking. Now, there are basically 4 scientific principles which are given by the person F.W. Taylor, who is the person behind the scientific management. Now, the very first principle is science, not rule of thumb. See, rule of thumb is all about the dictatorship of a manager. Like whatever manager has gained from his past experiences, he just imposes that on the workers. Whereas this principle says this, that scientific management has nothing to do with the rule of thumb. You should replace the rule of thumb with the scientific decisions, inquiries, and applying the remedial measures. Means whatever work has to be done, that should be according to the situation. Means you have to observe, you have to think logically, and then you have to apply the solution to the problem. The second is harmony, not discord. See, basically, we all know that there are 2 groups in an organization. One is the workers group and the other one is the management group. Basically, both of these groups are rivalry to each other. Management often thinks that workers are not working, they are just gossiping and earning free of cost. Whereas workers always feel that managers are taking a lot of work from them and not paying them according to their requirement. So this principle says this, that both these groups have to change their thinking for each other. Let's take an example. The worker who is working in an organization ultimately wants what? An increment into his salaries. And the organization which is there obviously wants the more profits. So workers have to always make sure one thing, that they can get increment into their salaries only once the management is earning more. So this principle says this, that both the groups should not be rivalry to each other. In fact, they should stand together with each other. Moving on to the third is cooperation, not individualism, which is an extension of harmony, not discord. So cooperation, not individualism says this, that it's not the word I, right? Basically, it's a teamwork. So everybody should work in cooperation with each other. The management should always take workers into consideration before setting up any plans or policies for them, because it's ultimately workers who have to actually get the work done. And if you're not going to consider the people who are actually doing the work, then it becomes really difficult to get the task accomplished. Like I say, do this way, but it's ultimately the worker who are dealing in the real situations. They know how much practically possible it is. So that's why it's very much important that workers should be taken into consideration before planning out the plans and policies for them. Moving on to the fourth principle, which is development of workers to their greatest efficiency and prosperity. See, the industrial efficiency depends upon how well trained your workers are. So time to time training for the workers should be arranged. They should be given the promotions. They should be upgraded to different levels. When some new task is being there, they should be trained about it. So regular trainings, workshops should be arranged for them, so that you can develop your workers' efficiency to the maximum. And when the workers' efficiency is developed, definitely this will lead to their prosperity, because the person who is trained will be much better than the untrained worker. So these are the 4 principles of scientific management and the meaning of scientific management.